So, hello, people. Welcome to this evening streams. I've just got them talking about trick and treating in my ears. You can't see them or hear them. I think we might leave it that way for the rest for the rest of the stream. I just like to pop on here at the beginning just to say hello and welcome and. Yes, you are. And just to say hello and say welcome to tonight's stream, tonight's Shadowrun stream. And we're going to start off by playing the introduction. And then when you come back, you'll be able to see them all in their wonderful Halloween outfits. They've all got hideous masks on and really look really scary. Until then, here is the introduction to Shadowrun. Don't say anything. Right, here we are. And here they are in their most hideous looking faces and costumes ever.
I've actually come as Uncle Fester.
Da-da-da-da.
From the Adam.
No, you didn't.
I've come as Longshanks.
And I've come as Jiggle again.
Yeah.
We're not in the wrong boxes, are we?
No.
No, you're not.
No.
No, you're in the perfectly the right box. I love the creepy and the groupie. Dee. I've been playing on the last session at university. I've been playing Halloween music all the way through it. Can we just test audio?
Is that just like Ghostbusters then?
Yeah, Ghostbusters, Thriller,
And what's it?
Alice Cooper, Poison.
No.
I love that song.
There was something about Metallica. Duran, Hungry Like a Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was a good one. And that was about it, I think. We had those on. We had those on repeat. There was something about.
Just jump to the left.
Oh yes, that's right. We had that one as well. So yeah. Time Warp. That was that one.
I couldn't think of the name. That's why I sang it.
Anything else? Ooh, I keep dropping things out of my mouth today. If my tongue sort of goes, then please let me know. Yeah,
or
so
just think it's part of your Halloween costume and ignore it. It's
exactly.
fine.
I managed to scare a couple of kids on the way home as I was walking home, and they came up to me and went, "Trick or treat!" I was like, like that, and they just sort of like one dropped his pumpkin bucket, and the other one I think wet himself, and that was it. And that in
Poor little 3-year-olds.
In the Dark of the Night from an Anastasia movie. I haven't seen that, Neon. Sorry. I don't watch films that much anyway. There's me. Oh no, I'm going to put that to one side, and I'll have it. No, because I thought you guys can start introducing yourself, and then I can eat it. So just as a change, as you probably saw in Discord, guys, rather than saying hi, my name's so-and-so, I'm the tank of the group. I thought we could change it up a bit by introducing yourself, introduce your character, and then tell me what you did last adventure. You know, because it's
I can't remember what I did yesterday.
What you did last summer. I think that's a horror movie.
What we did last summer.
Yeah, that's what I said. So I thought we'll do that this week. So you might want to take notes every week so you know what you're going to say in your introduction. So we're going to head straight down there first, and we're going to have the infamous, the infallible Chugga now.
Me first.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Chugga and I'm the tank of the group. Oh, no, you don't want that, do you? I'm Chugga. I play Stanley Lovely, a.k.a. Studley. He's the mage. He had a pretty easy time last session. Anyway, we had to meet up in a warehouse, which was our usual meeting spot. We were told by Charlie that Mr. Johnson we basically suck.
Hang on.
And the only reason that we had been given this job was because nobody else really wanted it.
Yeah.
So, being short of creds, having no other option apart from a very short playing session, we took the job, which was basically to hand back a person that wasn't really the same person to the people who had originally that he originally worked for before our employees stole him to find out some information about a computer agent which is used to seek out viruses. Is that right?
Yeah, no, hang on.
Anyway.
Hang on. I didn't ask you to do a synopsis of the plot line. That's my job. I asked you to do a synopsis of what you did as a character.
Well, I went to a warehouse, got the job, went home, got a call, went to a car park, went round to the back, went into the van, drove the van very fast. Well, somebody else drove the van very fast, parked in an alleyway, and then I healed somebody. Okay.
I'll tell you a little bit more of what Studley did. So Studley did do all that. He also did several matrix checks to find out about the company and what people actually look like. He also managed to find the transponder code of the van that the party was meant to take because they were off to do a heist. Well, they had to do a pickup on it. So and he did, as he's aforementioned, he did do some healing right at the end and managed to try to heal up an elven rigger's ear. Okay. So Hector Longshanks, are you ready to do yours, or shall I do yours?
Hi guys, I'm Longshanks CPG. I play Hector, the face of the group. Last week, after getting the job and bits and pieces like that, and helping to come up with a plan, what we're going to do, I tagged along with Billy Bob to try and talk our way into the front of the car park to get at the van, which was then very rudely interrupted by some metatypists. I was going to say racist, but they're metatype because they were discriminating against a young elf boy. We then watched him being taken into a cupboard, ignored it, got in the car, then thought, no, we need to go back for him. Billy Bob went back for him, and I tailed after him and watched Billy Bob beat 7 shades of stuff out of 2 security guards.
Yeah, you
and
did.
And then got kidnapped by said young elf.
Excellent.
And ended up in an alley somewhere in a car.
Yeah, that is totally correct. And Big Beastie, what did you do? Who are you and what did you do?
I am Big Beastie and I play Billy Bob. And last week I beat up some security guards.
You did, very effectively. And you also, I think, brought the fighting to a halt. I think it was your careful planning that actually brought the fighting to a halt. And I think you actually ended up towering over the security guards and intimidating them nicely. And then rescuing the elven rigger to sort of like take him away, because I think you and Hector actually got into a car planning to drive it away, only to find out that there was no steering wheel. and that it was purely rigged for action. And so it was going to be somewhat difficult to drive away. Excellent. Well done, folks. So I've just put up the exclamation classes in the stream. And if you go there, you can find out some more information about the people and their characters. So each person there, if you scroll down past the RuneQuest lot, you will find their names. If you click on the little plus sign, you'll find their backgrounds. And you will also click on their the second one to find their aims and motivations. And then and everyone, I think Studley's a new character. So currently he has his background, but he doesn't have his aims and motivation. He's Chuggerwugger's probably sent them to me, but I haven't typed them in yet. But they are there, so you can go and have a look at who they are and their characters in more detail if you wish. So yes, as Chuggerwugger was saying earlier on, the party is probably at rock bottom. They didn't do very well in their last run. And so Charlie has managed to persuade somebody to give them a very simple job for very simple money. And basically, they have to do a timely exchange, hence the title of the run. Basically, one company has stolen some asset from another company, and now they're going to give it back. Unfortunately, while interrogating the aforementioned asset, they killed him. And so they're going to be sending somebody in masked magically, or somebody who will look as close to him as they possibly can. They also require the opposing side also requires the presence of the Chief of Security. And the Chief of Security dossier has been sent to the group, so they have a good idea about what he looks like. So hopefully they can either disguise or mask themselves ready for this exchange. Now, it's quite mysterious at the present moment of time, because they were told to go and collect a van from almost like a parking lot, where they encountered the two security guards, and one of them was actually hauling around the elven rigger that turned out to be actually their driver. Once they got in there, Athena, who is their rigger decker, lost connection with them as they sped off somewhere, and they had darkened windows and have no idea where they're going or what is happening. All they know is that they drove some considerable distance, turned several considerable corners, and eventually stopped. And as they stopped, that is when we left the party, the runners, last week. Now, guys, can you remember the companies, etc.?
It was 007 Bytes, and I can't remember the other one now. I haven't got my piece of paper.
Qubit 64.
Yeah. Qubit 64. And who are you working for?
007 Bytes.
Double O byte.
Okay. And who are you going to pick up?
Who are we going to pick up? Max Sinclair.
Yeah.
Gillian.
Max Sinclair is the name of the asset that you need to find. And if you remember, you were waiting for location.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
He's dead.
So, is there anything you would like to ask or say before we start off the adventure and I start to roll time?
Don't think so.
No.
Excellent. Okay, so the stage is set. Billy Bob, you're in the front of the van, along with the elven rigger, who has just taken you to somewhere that you have no idea where. Studley and Hector are in the back, and if you remember, the van sort of like turned a sharp corner. There was some reversing involved, and then the car actually stopped. And that is where we're going to pick up the adventure. So the car has reversed up, and all of a sudden it stops. And the elven rigger seems to turn off the engine, and your side windows unsmoke, and he sort of like unclips himself and slowly sits up, and you appear to be in what can only be described as a back alley.
Billy Bob's going to get out of the car.
Billy Bob goes to open the door, and the door is locked. And the elven rigger turns around to you and says, "Not yet." He says, "Big man, not yet."
Then Billy Bob's just going to sit there quietly.
Hector's going to ask him, we need to get in contact with one of our team who was providing Overwatch, but our signals were blocked. Are they unblocked now? Can we call her?
He looks rather disdainfully at you, Hector, for apparent reasons, and he sort of like says, "It's probably just distance."
Studley's going to have a look behind us. What's behind us? How far does the alleyway go back?
The alleyway is about 4 times the length of the car, and you're at the front of the alley. So there's sort of like 3 car lengths behind you. And it just seems to be, you can see that he probably hasn't pulled any further back, because at the left-hand side of the car, there's a dumpster. So obviously the parking lights have come on or something to make him stop in that direction. So there seems to be nothing down the alleyway. There seems to be dirt, the odd piece of paper floating around, dumpsters, general rubbish, and that's about it. You seem to be in between 2 rather tall buildings. They've got the outside fire escapes on them. And it definitely is a dead end at the back.
So at the back of us, it doesn't go onto a road?
No, it comes to, there's just sort of like a concrete wall there.
Okay, can Studley, on his comm unit, can he use his map soft to see whereabouts we are?
Yeah, by all means. You're actually. Can you actually roll a computer plus logic roll for this, please? You'll see why in a second.
Is there mirrors on the car?
Yeah,
wing mirrors.
There certainly are that actually retract into the what? You rolled 10 dice and got 0 success.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. You actually notice that your map soft is actually not functioning. You figure that the reason because of this is probably because you might be outside south side. So, because your map soft will do south side, which is your normal adventuring area, and it's out of that area. And Billy Bob, yeah, there are wing mirrors in the car, but they're currently flapped to the side of the car completely, and they shows the car stop. They automatically folded in. And when I said folded in, normal cars. Can you see my screen? Sorry. Normal cars would like fold like this and then fold out like that, so they can be. These have gone flat to the actual the body of the car. Really and truly, riggers probably have no need for wing mirrors, because once they're rigged in, they sense the whole vehicle, and they are the vehicle. But they're probably still there for before the conversion for. Before it was rigged up for unconventional drivers to use.
So there's no way for me to push the wing mirror out so I can check behind?
No, I mean, the easiest thing you could do is probably just look over, and because there is a back window.
Right.
So you can look through the sort of like the gaps in the seat, and pass Studley and Hector, and you will be able to see through the back windscreen.
Okay, Billy
Yeah.
Bob's gonna just keep an eye out backwards and forwards, like keep moving about and checking.
Yeah, cool.
Studley wants to cast Analyze Truth on himself.
Yeah, cool. Go for it. So that allows you to decide whether or not other people are telling the truth, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, rather than you telling the truth. Yeah. What force is it coming out as?
6.
Nice. Yeah, so you take 1 point of stun, don't you, from your drain?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And he's sustaining that.
Yeah. And by yourself.
Himself.
Yeah. Thank you. Excellent. Okay. Have you made a note of that? The three that you've got it up and you got 3 successes.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so if I wish to oppose it at any time that it's got 3, because that will eventually go up. You know, so just make a note that you.
Are you putting us on a floor plan?
Not at the moment, no.
Right. Okay.
It's just to
I
make
was
sure.
going to add it to my token.
No, it's just so you make sure that you've got. Yeah, you could do that. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, it doesn't get. Does it get transported? Does it get?
Yeah, I can take it off from there. That won't be a problem at all. Just finding a blank piece of paper for my notes. Oh, can you do There you go.
What?
I just
Oh,
put
right.
3 successes on it just in case I want to oppose it anytime. Yeah. Okay then. Yeah. Did you want to say something, Studley? Or ask somebody?
No. He's just got it so that if anybody else questions him, he'll be able to tell whether or not they're telling the truth or not.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. Hector's going to ask the elf chap if he knows how long it's going to be between we have to wait.
Sorry, I'm just. Do you cast Analyze Truth on yourself or on some other person?
I can do it on. Well, no, you cast it on you because the description is the subject can tell whether or not a target's statements are the truth.
Right. Okay then. So yeah. So, and I presume that detection spell result is what it goes at. Does it? Subject must hear the person's. Subject must hear. Oh, I see what you mean. So you're saying it goes on you rather than the
So
person.
it goes on me, and then it's an opposed. It's an opposed test, I think.
That's what I was trying to just figure out. The subject must hear the statement within and be able to tell. So it's a normal detection spell opposed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So it'll be opposed by willpower and logic, won't it? That's what they're normally opposed by.
Yes, or yes, yeah. Willpower and logic if it's a living.
Yeah. Cool.
Thing with an aura. If not, it's force times 2 if it's
Cool.
some type of magical thing.
Excellent. Nice. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Hector.
So yeah, he's going to ask the other elf. As you seem to know more about this than us at the moment, do you know how long we have to wait?
He sort of like looks rather almost like as if he's as if you guys should know this. He sort of like it's sort of like as if he's sort of like reacting as if he's not impatient. He's sort of like as if, good grief, shouldn't you know this? In his voice, and he says, we just need to wait here until we get the next call. So now Studley, do I make my Chugwaga? Do I make my roll?
Um,
And then tell you whether or not he's telling the truth?
I presume so. Yeah. Because I mean, I suppose it's classed as an active spell.
Right.
But in which case, I don't know where So an active detection spell involves an opposed test between the caster's spell casting and magic with a limit of the force, and either the willpower or logic.
Yeah, so what I was thinking, how I was playing it, is that you got 3 successes. Hence,
Right.
So if I roll my opposed roll, as long as you get 1 more than me,
Right.
can you see the spell needs at least 1 net hit to determine the validity of the selected statement.
Right, I'm with you.
So, and that's why I said I need that 3. So if I roll and get 5, what do you want to ask me when you want to validate the statement, or do you want just me to tell you?
No, I just want to. I'll look for you to tell me if I think it's a lie.
Okay, yeah, okay then. So
because that's the easiest way. Then you can blind roll your.
Yeah, that's what I've done. Yeah,
yours.
Yeah. So you think he's telling the truth?
Right. Did you blind roll that one? Because I can see successes.
Oh, could you? Oh, sorry, my roll, my fault. Yeah, that's not a problem. I'm quite happy for you to see that.
In which case, sorry.
Can you see that one?
No,
cool. I just pressed the wrong button. I have 2 buttons. One's called GM roll, and one's called blind roll. And so you can see. You can't see that one. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, got you.
Billy Bob's going to turn around to the elf and say, "How'd you hear?"
He turns around. He sort of like brings it up, and he sort of like passes over his DNI, his data jack cable, and he sort of like tenderly touches it, and he says, "Saw. You've healed him pretty well, Studley. And by the way, that was the roll. That I remember last week I wasn't too sure, but it's the person's essence -6, and that's used as a negative dice pool. So somebody like Billy Bob, whose essence is... Oh, hang on a minute. Let me just go
0.34.
0.34. So he would have -6. You can see to the roll, because it's his essence, which is less than 1, -6. So it would be not -6 to heal him because of his cyberware. Cool. Yeah. He says, "Saw." He sort of like looks at you, Billy Bob, and sort of like says, "Thanks, mate, for rescuing me."
Billy Bob's just going to nod. And carry on skegging around the car, making sure that no one's approaching.
Yeah. It looks a very deserted place altogether. You can't even see vehicles passing across the front of the alleyway, and there's no people walking around or anything like that. And like I said, Studley, it's not coming up on your south side map soft. So it's either that it can't find the GPS, or it's not in that map soft, which would entail that you're somewhere else.
Okay. Right, Studley's going to engage in conversation with yourself, boy. Then,
yeah.
So he's going to sort of like tap him on the shoulder and wait till he sort of like looks round.
He doesn't look right the way round. He just sort of looks over his shoulder at you and sort of goes, "Yeah."
Yeah. I was actually wondering. Do you work for Charlie as well?
He says, "The fixer." Yeah,
Yeah, it's Charlie.
yeah.
Oh, so he's put you in touch for this job then. Are we waiting for another vehicle to arrive, or just for a com call? I don't suppose you know where we're going, do you?
So every time you're asking a question, I'm rolling the his resistance about his analyzed truth. So what was the first question you said?
Was he working for Charlie?
Yes, and he was telling the truth.
Okay. I then asked him, does he know? Are we waiting for another vehicle or just a
No.
just a com call?
He says no. He says we're not waiting for another vehicle. He says this is the vehicle. What we're waiting for is a location to pick up the asset.
Oh, right. A location.
There was another question that you asked. I can't because I rolled it 3 times.
No, I think that was.
Okay.
I think that was it.
Cool.
Maybe you got the two. The two.
All right. Yeah.
What are we waiting for?
Oh yes, that was
a com call.
Yeah.
Which you probably said no, and then that would have been a roll, and then
and are you waiting for another vehicle? Yeah. Okay. Got you.
All right. So we're just waiting for another location then. Whereabouts are we, by the way? Do you have any type of, I don't know, whatever it's called in these vehicles nowadays?
I'll just pull you onto the map area here. You see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you almost like he pings something to your location, almost like sending it to you, and you appear to be across the river over here.
All right. Do we? I mean, have we any idea? I suppose it's still classed as London, isn't it?
Oh yes, it's still definitely London. It's slightly a little bit more upmarket than South Side. Just roll a memory test. All of you roll a memory test.
Well, Qubits was in an upper.
Yeah.
An upper memory.
That is true.
Oh, hang on. I need a -2.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. That's cool. Yeah, you also you remember exactly that Qubit 64 and 007 Byte were actually they weren't in Southside. They were actually across the Thames. Well, the information you got was that they were in slightly an upmarket area, and you also remember that you almost like felt the car actually going across some kind of bridge as you were traveling, and you sort of like heard the different sound, and you remember that now. And so you assume that you're in some kind of location that is almost like a little bit more upmarket than Southside, and probably something to do with. Does anybody have anything to do with local area? A skill to do with local areas or something like that? Even if it's Southside, I'll take it.
No.
I've got street knowledge. So that's it.
Does anybody have anything like gangs or anything like that?
I've got street gangs in general, but not area specific.
Yeah, so that would be area specific in Southside, because that's why you adventure. But if you rolled that and put a -2 on the dice roll.
2 successes.
Yeah, you remember something about over the Thames. It tends to be more of like a business park. So it tends to be somewhere that there's a lot of companies and corporations, very little residential places, more sort of like almost like a business park. And that's where it's not an area where a lot of gangs hang out. It's more sort of like business.
Okay.
Studley's going to say to the young elf boy, he's going to say, by the way, my name's Studley. What shall we call you?
He does. It's interesting. You don't even have to get out the "what do we need to call you." As soon as you say, "My name's Studley," he just goes, "Wheels."
Ah, Wheels. So, why did they call you Wheels?
He just sort of like looks at you and sort of like he says, "The clue's what you're in."
Right, yes. I see. Well, I hope this isn't going to drag on for too long because I do have other engagements. Studley has a look at his what? And I take it it's not advisable to get out the vehicle, stretch our legs or whatnot.
All of a sudden, you hear all the doors go, and you hear the locks sort of like click off. You also, Billy Bob, you notice that his sort of like eyes flicker when this happens. They sort of like flicker briefly, and the doors click open, and then he sort of like flickers again, and this sort of like hard, almost like rock music starts to pound out of the speakers. And it's almost like saying, shut up. It's just going boom, 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 boom. And it's all like really, it's not, you couldn't probably even call it music. It's just a whole load of people shouting and heavy beats and wailing guitars. And it's just sort of like, it seems to be going on and on and on. And he just sort of like relaxes back in his pod and closes his eyes again. The doors are open.
Studley wants to.
Sorry. Studley, he hasn't told a lie or anything yet.
Okay. Studley wants to activate his comm, and then using his AR gloves, he wants to type a message to Athena.
Yeah, cool. What would you like it to say?
It's just basically the location where we are.
Yeah, from roughly from your maps off that you saw over here somewhere. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You figured that. Just roll computer and logic, Studley.
Oh, sorry. I'll roll it again.
Yeah.
Because I've got a minus.
Yeah, you got a -2. Oh yeah, you should. I forget what you did now. Oh yeah, you figured that Athena's probably lost connection with you, mainly because of the distance, and that you've probably gone right the way over the river, and she's probably not looking for you over the river. So sending her some kind of connection, some kind of GPS result will probably help her to target it down. You do notice that there's a bit of background clicking on your comlink line. It's almost like a bit of background interference. It's not major, but you think that she's probably quite a while back, and you recognize this as noise, so you think the distance from her to you is probably quite significant at the moment.
Okay, and then once he's done that, he wants to open the door.
It opens quite easily.
Yeah, so he wants to get out, and he'll stretch, and he'll push his glasses back onto his nose, and then he's going to head to the end of the alley where the road is.
Yeah. Okay, Hector and Billy Bob, what would you like to do while Studley's doing that?
Billy Bob's just going to send a text message to what's her name?
Vina?
No.
Handbrake?
Is it Handbrake?
Handbrake?
Don't know who.
Your orcish girlfriend.
Yeah.
Handbrake.
Handbrake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
So
you're not
he's gonna-
like that with the wife.
Can we just go? What's her name?
Yeah, so he's just gonna message her saying that he probably won't be back tonight.
Cool. Yeah. You get the same sort of like background interference as you send it.
Hector's just going to get out of the car, stretch, and keep his hand on his comlink, ready to answer it when it goes off.
Cool. Studley, you get to the front. You're definitely in some kind of corporate area. There's sort of like it's quite empty now, but you can see that they're not shops. They're definitely frontal faced offices, you know, and they've got that sort of like glass fronted that's reflected light, you know, and reflected mirrors. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to drop my sustained spell.
Yeah.
And I'm going to on my com, I'm going to go on into AR and see whether or not I can see any arrows of maybe street names or businesses that I can maybe cross-reference with the map soft.
Yeah,
and give me a better idea of where we are.
Yeah, so once you go into AR, yeah, there's hundreds of arrows all over the place, announcing companies and money off deals at places. Your Mapsoft, actually, you would have to buy the Mapsoft for this area to get the detailed. You can see that you're actually on Clarence Street at the present moment in time. You know, and there's various corporations operating here. They seem to all be selling some kind of computer stuff. So there's like networks, there's security, there's like hardware, there's like software, and you can see that it's almost like a whole street of them, all outbidding one another. You know, basically saying, "Don't go there, come to us. We're the best corporation around." You also see that most of them have hosts, you know, that obviously have security people on the door, that if you could access the matrix, you know, via DNI, you would actually be able to get a data jack, you would actually be able to get into them. But as you constantly look, you just sort of like see it's a mass of corporations. You do notice that they've also got things like Employer of the Month flashing up as well.
What's the traffic like? Is there a lot of vehicles going by? Is there a lot of foot?
Yeah, well, as I said before, there's no vehicles and there's no people at all.
Okay, so the three bits of information I want from my arrows, and the first one I have is that we're on Clarence Street, which is fine. Can I get the name of the corporation businesses to either side of the alleyway? And then I want to send that information to Athena, saying Clarence Street, alleyway between, and then give the the two corporate businesses to the left and right of the alleyway.
Yeah, so you yet again you try to get in contact with her, and there's this sort of like this noise, this background noise that you think is mainly because of distance. And anyway, you sort of like type it in, and you send it off to her.
Okay, and then he'll pull his trousers up slightly and push his glasses back onto his nose, and he'll head back down the alleyway to the vehicle.
Well, it's as you approach the vehicle that you suddenly hear the music is turned off, and you hear Wheels say to you, "Time to go, guys."
Okay, so Studley's going to get back in the vehicle and fasten his seatbelt.
Yeah, the engine is already up and sort of like revving.
He's going to say to Wheels, he's going to go, is there any chance that we could leave the windows unsmoked? Because I do get rather travel sick. And it does really help when I can actually concentrate on something as it goes by. I would hate to make a mess in the back of your vehicle.
The Wheels is already sort of like lying down in his pod, and you notice two things. He sort of like flickers his eyes, and all of a sudden there's this massive gush of aircon that sort of like blows straight past you, Billy Bob, and sort of like fills the car with fresh air. And the other thing that you notice, Studley, on the back of Billy Bob's seat, there's sort of like the fabric suddenly dematerialize a bit, and it comes up one of the old 80s cartoons. And it's just sort of like a whole load of people's little cartoons, a little bit like Mickey Mouse or something similar. And it's just sort of like playing there. I think he's basically saying...
Studley's going to go, thank you very much.
Hector will get back in the car. Still have his comlink ready to go there.
Yeah, sure. As Hector gets back into the car, you all hear the doors go, and the windows yet again suddenly just sort of like cloud over, and almost like as if Wheels has revved the engine with the handbrake on. It suddenly leaves go of it and almost like pulls a 90-degree turn as it bolts out of the alleyway, and you're sort of like all flung to one side. I mean, as it starts heading off really, really quickly. You travel for about it's about 30 minutes, and you really lose track. You've watched about 2 cartoons, Studley, and it's sort of like gone left and right, and you lose track about, how many turns you've actually gone through. And Billy Bob, you're a bit cold now because this aircon is just sort of like blowing at you constantly, constant fresh air, or as fresh as it can get in London, and sort of like blowing at you over and over and over and over and over again. And it's not sort of like going... It's just going like that straight at you, as if somebody's got it on full. And you're almost like getting a bit of goosebumps now because it's absolutely freezing. And you just sort of like, just as before, you arrive with an abrupt halt, and the windows demist or de-smoke. And the doors go open again, and Wheels sort of like comes out of his rigged state, and he turns to, he sort of like leans over so he can see and sort of like speak to you all, address you all, and he says, "You need to go and get the asset. It's down there." And you notice off to your left, off to your right, there's like an alleyway, between two buildings, and the alleyway sort of like goes down quite a distance, and you sort of like think, right, this is probably where we get out.
Right. Just to recap from last adventure, we don't actually have do we have a picture of the asset? Do we have a picture of Max?
No, you have a picture of the head of security that you're meant to be
Professor
doing.
John Markham.
Yeah, that you're meant to be doing the exchange with.
I did do when I did my search, and I was looking at the news files for about him going missing. Was there an image on any of that?
Let's just have a look at this. Roll your double intuition.
Eight dice. One success.
Yeah, you remember seeing a picture of it. It was in sort of like it was one of these movable gifts ones, you know, that you get in papers nowadays. So it wasn't sort of like all grey out. It was actually one of these movable things. So you have a good idea what Max Sinclair used to look like.
Okay.
I was just rolling that to see whether or not you had a look of remembering to download it. That's what it was.
Okay. So Studley's going to say to Hector and Billy Bob, shall we, gentlemen?
Billy
And
Bob
then
gets
he'll
up.
get out the car.
And Billy Bob, as you about to get out the car, Wheels says to you, "Oh, hang on," and like a glove compartment clicks down, and he reaches in and he pulls something out, and he hands it to you, Billy Bob. It appears to be. It looks like a remote, for like our remotes. So it's about this long and about that shape, and it seems to have a light on the top and a button. And Wheels goes, "We might need that."
Billy Bob's going to say, "What's this?"
He says, "You'll find out in the alley."
Great.
And
He's going to...
you gonna take it, yeah?
Yeah, he takes it.
Oh, and he says, by the way, he says, you might need this as well. And he hands out what appears to be a little card, and it just has like a 6-digit number on it, hyphenated in the middle.
He's going to take that as well. Put that
Yeah.
in his pocket.
He says, and then he just says to you, "I'll wait here."
Billy Bob doesn't say anything. Just pulls his head out the car, shuts the door, walks off.
Yeah, cool.
So there's an alleyway ahead of us.
Yeah, correct. And it seems to be really long. It seems to, you can't actually see the end of it, and if you've got low light or thermographic, it's sort of like picking up. It doesn't pick up the end of the alleyway at all. It could actually be like a passageway, or actually even a little road.
Okay.
Is everybody
Right,
out
so-
of the car?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you get out the car, you hear all the doors go click, and you also notice that the engine turns off, and the windows smoke up, and you hear a voice, almost like an electronic voice, sort of like come on, and it says, Parking mode engaged.
Studley's going to go up to Billy Bob and he's going to go, Mr. Bob, could I have a look at the items that we just acquired, if that's at all possible, please?
Yeah, Billy Bob's going to take them out of his pocket and hand them to him.
Yeah, so Studley, they look exactly how I described it beforehand. The red light is off. There's a button.
Okay, what sort of like size was it?
Just like a remote. So it's about this. Can you see my cam?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's about this long.
Yeah.
And it's about this wide. So it would go in your hand. And if you held it at the back, the button would be where your thumb would go. You also notice that at the front of it, there seems to be like a piece of plastic.
Okay.
And you figure that's probably something to do with almost like an infrared signal.
Right. Okay.
And then
there's and the card has a 6-digit number on it.
Yeah, and hyphenated in the middle.
Okay. Is there any other markings on it?
No. And
and does it look like there's any type of computer chip or magnetic strip on it?
Yeah, good question. Like there's no magnetic strip on it. Do you have a scan reader or anything like that with you?
I don't know. I'm just looking to see what's on it.
Yeah, so I was just asking because that's probably the only way to see whether or not there was a chip in it. But there's definitely no magnetic strip on the back at all. Okay. And it's rather... Just give me a perception roll.
I'm not sustaining anything.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad.
It just looks like a normal card to you with this 6-figure number on it.
The buildings that we're walking past, are they numbered?
No, and the buildings have changed somewhat. They seem to be more to do with like can you remember beforehand, Studley, when you were out and about, there were definitely corporation buildings. Now, Billy Bob, when you look at these, they seem to be more I want to say to you warehouses, but I don't want you to get the image of wooden shacks or something like that. They're solid buildings, but they look more like you know when what's it called? Storage units.
Storage huts, yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like, and there just seems to be a whole row of them, and each one of them has a little madlock by the side of it, and it's got each one of them has got a number on it, and you can see that they go down either side, and there seems to be a long passageway, sort of like opposite where you are now, but they're all almost like double stories. So you seem to be in some kind of storage unit area. It looks quite expensive as storage units go.
Okay, Billy Bob's going to look at the numbers on the maglock to see if they match up with the card at all.
Yeah, a good idea. You sort of like look at it, and the ones on the doors do have up to 6 digits, but they don't have the hyphen on it. So it's just like a 6-digit number, and they're also sequential. So you can see on one side it's and on the other side it's the same number, add 1. Well, this the number that you've got is quite random. It doesn't look like it fits in between the two.
On the remote thing, there's a single button.
Yeah.
Is there any marking on the button? And any symbol or emblem or anything like that, or is it just a button?
It's just a button. Do you wish to press it?
Not at the moment, no.
No, okay then. Yeah, it's just like a normal everyday button. There seems to be nothing else. And the whole remote, I'll call it a remote, although it's not.
Yeah. Okay.
The whole remote is just matte black, and it's got this little light, this place where you assume something will light up, this plastic front, this button, and that's it. It looks, you can safely say you've never seen anything like it before at all.
Okay. The alleyway, it gets darker. Is there any light at all as it goes?
No, the street light lasts a few meters, and then it's literally dark down the corridor, down the passageway. Hector, you get a comlink message, and it's from Athena, and she basically says, "At long last, gentlemen, found you. ETA, 35 minutes. That's quite a shock to you all, because her drones can fly quite quick, and 35 minutes seems to be a long travelling time."
Hector's going to reply, "Glad to hear. Went a bit off piste. We're in," and then wherever it was that we've, I can't remember the name of the place that we're side of the town we're in.
Yeah, she sort of like says, "Gentlemen," she says, "according to my readings, you seem to be in a storage unit site."
Does seem to be like that.
Is this come through to all of us?
Yeah, it will do. Yeah.
We're here picking up Max.
Oh, you're picking up the asset.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we are.
Maybe best to call it the asset over the comlinks, Studley. I know you're not used to
Asset.
used to this sort of runs, but yes, just in case somebody else is listening in, we tend to call it asset. Code words and things like that.
Right.
I know it's only your second run, but assets. Yeah. So
All right.
she says, she sort of like says, "You're picking up the asset. Okay. Seems a strange place." Just so if you're watching, anybody watching the stream, just to let you know, Athena, remember, is the runner's decker and rigger, and is currently being played by me as like an NPC, so they have all the areas covered when they're adventuring.
Billy Bob's going to turn around after that comment and say, "The whole mission's weird."
Can't agree more.
Studley's going to push these glasses back onto his nose, and he's going to head down the alleyway. He's going to be looking for either people, a doorway that might have some type of lock on it, for like a keypad that might, or one of the containers, storage containers that might have a key, or do they all have maglock?
The fronts did, yeah. They had madlocks on them.
Right.
So Hector's going to say, "Why don't we try pushing the button? Perhaps it's the door, a door thing."
Studley's just going to press it.
You press it, and the red light comes on.
I'm going to press it again.
The red light goes off. There's a bit of vibration in it. So it's all like it goes, and that's not a sound. That's a little bit of a vibration. So
Studley's going to say, does anybody have a camera?
Just to let you know, it's currently off.
Right.
The light is currently off.
Hector's will turn and say, "I do have my contacts."
Ah, excellent. What I'm going to do, I'm going to point this thing at your camera and press the button. And if you could very kindly tell me whether or not you can see a white light flickering on and off. If you do, that means that this is a infrared signal. And he's going to point it at Hector's face and press the button.
Yeah, there is indeed an infrared infrared beam coming off it.
Hex will blink a few times and then go, yeah, there's one there.
He's going to press it again and turn it off.
You hear Athena's voice again. She says, "Gentlemen, please remember what's riding on this. We don't really want to make a mess of this run like we did the other one."
When we pressed the button, did any of the storage units do anything, such as make a noise or doors
Make a perception.
ping or
Make a
that sort of
perception
thing?
roll.
5 successes.
No, you don't hear anything at all. Just a slight wind through the storage units.
Is there another set of numbers on the card that we were given? Obviously, it had the numbers with the hyphens on the back or anything. Is there a different set of numbers?
Studley can tell you that because he's currently got the card.
What am I doing, sorry?
Is there another set of numbers on the card that has the hyphenated numbers, which are probably a passcode? Do we have on the reverse, do we have a number for the containers?
On the passcode? No, there was
Yeah.
only one number on one, and there's nothing written on the... I've just drawn on my face.
Oh, cool. Let's have a look. Let me...
No, you won't be able to see. It's just there. Right, Studley is...
I can see.
Going,
Sorry.
Studley is going to press the button on this, for better word of a remote control.
Yeah.
And he's going to head down the alleyway, and he's going to sort of like shine it at, almost like using it as a torch at each container to see whether or not anything appears that might be...
Yeah. Okay, just to let you know, down the corridor, down this alleyway, there's nothing. The
Right.
containers are at the front, so the walls are just sort of like plasticsteel down here. That's all
Right.
they are. There doesn't seem to be any entrances or anything like that.
Okay, so Wheel said that we had to go down this alleyway.
Yeah, he gave that impression.
Right. Okay, so Studley is going to head down. He has pressed the button on this contraption, and he will shine it at the walls as well.
Okay,
to
then.
see whether or not. But he's also going to do his best to monitor the actual, because you said it was vibrating
Yeah, he is.
slightly.
Yeah.
To see whether or not he can distinguish any pattern in the vibrations, whether or not it vibrates more or less. Or
Okay then. So Hector and Billy Bob, what are you two doing?
Hex is going to follow Studley, or walk next to Studley as we're going down the alley.
So,
Billy Bob's gonna pretty much do the same, but at the same time, looking around, he's gonna be on guard.
Okay, so are you walking three abreast down this alleyway?
No,
If there's
I'll walk
space.
behind them.
So,
So if them two are like in front, I'll be like in the middle behind.
so a bit like that.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's absolutely fine. You're sort of like, you don't go very far down this alleyway before it starts to get dark. So you're Studley, do you have low light eyes?
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I have them in my glasses.
Yeah.
The glasses that he's wearing have low light. in
Cool.
them.
So both you and Hector, almost like only about 10 meters down this corridor, this alleyway, suddenly see in front of you a body. It's face down. Its head is towards you, and its feet are pointing further down the alleyway.
So is that if it was coming out of the alleyway and fallen on its...
Exactly. And just so you know, it seems to have, imagine sort of like the small of the back. That appears to be ripped out. So it looks like something's gone in from behind and sort of like bitten into it and just ripped it out. So you can actually see the spine going
Okay.
and all that bits being taken out.
Hector wants to, because he's face down, you said.
Yeah.
Hector wants to turn the face slightly to see if it's Sinclair or any of the other faces that we recognise from.
Studley, did you share all the information with the party? Because you got the Sinclair picture.
I didn't say I was, so, and we'll say that I haven't, but
that's fine. Hector will still do that. He'll still turn the face over.
Okay, it looks like to be
the
face is quite contorted and almost obviously in a huge lot of pain where it died. It seems to be a teenager, probably you estimate about 18-year-old. It's human and it's male.
Does Studley recognise the person to be Max Sinclair?
No,
in the image.
It's not him. You do recognise him. It's not him.
Okay. I do recognise him though.
When you look at
it's not him.
It's not him. Yeah.
Okay. Studley wants to observe the body in detail. He wants to see what information he can pick up. What is it? What's he wearing? Has he got anything like gang colours? Anything like that? Does it look like he's carrying a weapon?
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
I want to pick up as much information about the body as I can without touching it.
Okay. Hector, what would you like to do?
Hector's going to do a similar sort of thing, but he's more looking sort of like to see if he can tell roughly what maybe might have done it. So if it was a person, or looking for blade marks or gun marks or anything like that sort of thing. Yeah. Maybe see what could have caused it.
Billy Bob, what are you doing?
Billy Bob's going to draw his sidearm, his Beretta.
Okay. Are you staying behind the other two? Or are you moving forward in order to protect them?
I'm going to move. So, right, if you use Athena as the body and them two as where they're stood around it.
So currently it looks like that.
Oh, sorry, can I also say that Hector's now crouching down as well?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so Billy Bob's going to pretty much be where he is, but on extra guard.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so Studley, you're up first. So
mine's going to be twofold. The first is going to be a visual inspection of it.
Yeah. So
and then my second bit is going to be I'm going to switch my senses and I'm going to go astral.
Okay,
and
so
I'm going to. I want to view it in astral to see whether or not I can see a signature of anything.
Okay, nice one. Okay, first of all, just roll a normal perception check because you're not looking for anything in particular, just what the guy's wearing, etc.
Okay. Do I have any situation modifier due to light or anything?
No, because you have your low light and there's plenty of information here.
4 successes.
Yeah, he seems to be some kind of. He almost looks like you guys, maybe a little bit lower, maybe some kind of ganger, rather than a runner, and just making a sensing check.
3 successes.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of emotion around this guy. It's fading somewhat now, so you figure it was probably happened about, say, 30 minutes, maybe an hour ago. There's still a huge amount of agony and emotion around it. You also notice that where the wound is, there's also a soft glow there that would almost like... do you have like magic theory or anything like that?
No, but if it's anything that might have been non-human that might have caused it, I do have an interest in paranormal critters and also parazoology from my investigative journalism.
Okay, we'll come back to that one in a second. I think we might be able to use that role, but I'll just switch to Hector, and because he's looking for the same sort of like thing, how it would die. So, which role are you going to be using, Hector?
Well, I've got either perception or criminal investigation, which maybe might be. I don't know.
Well, perception's not going to. Perception will just tell you what you see, which you're quite used to. You're quite willing to roll. What's your criminal investigation? Hang on, I'll have a look at it.
It's just a basic. It's a professional skill, but I haven't specialised it because I didn't have enough points.
Are you trying to say that you didn't pay attention in class?
Maybe. It's in skills at the bottom of my skills page. Knowledge skills, second to bottom.
Okay, then give it a roll. Give it a roll, and I'll adjust the information. Yeah.
One success.
Yeah, you figured that. I think this is like a crime scene role, so you'll get information about the general surround, and you sort of like figure that this guy was probably running out of the alleyway. You think he was probably attacked from behind, and there was some dragging involved back towards the towards the back of the alleyway. Sorry, my Roll20s has gone blank. Right. Studley, roll your paranormal animal skill.
Critters?
Yeah.
Three successes.
Yeah, you figure that this is something that the gape of the wound is probably is massive. It's way beyond that of a dog, and you do think it's probably something big and nasty. You don't think it's like a puppy that's done this wound. It would take quite a bit of force to actually crack it open like that. Definitely something paranormal.
So Studley's going to say, almost in a whisper, well, he's going to say it quietly. He's not going to blurt it out. He's loud enough for both Billy Bob and Hector to hear. He's going to say, that wound is obviously not man-made. I would probably say that it is from some form of large beast, obviously trying to incapacitate the victim, obviously not killing for food, because otherwise the body would have been dragged off. I would probably suggest that we continue cautiously and try to find the asset at the earliest possible convenience.
Hector's going to reply, but he's going to use he's going to reply on his subvocal mic, and he goes, "That seems to fit with what I found. It was attacked from behind. He was attacked from behind, and there was a little bit of dragging involved backwards."
Billy Bob, you you mentioned that you were on high alert. So can you just roll a perception roll for me, please?
Certainly can. At the same time, Billy Bob's going to say, "No shit." Perception. Roll it. Damn it. 3.
Yeah. As you scan, because you're scanning up the alleyway, you actually notice that off to one side, Studley side, further down, but only a few meters, there's a crumpled form up against the wall, and as you focus your cyber eyes on it and ask for additional detail, it picks up the form and brings it to the front that is quite blurry, and suddenly enhances it slightly, and you notice that there is another dead body. It's very similar to this one, but it seems to be missing a leg. And when I say a leg, I mean a leg. I don't mean from the knee down. It definitely right from the hip down. You also notice that it's got various bruises on the face. And it's almost as if something's grabbed it and shook it. And then let go of it. And it's gone flying off to one end and crumpled against the wall.
The body in front of Studley wants to kneel by the side of it, and then he wants to check its pockets to see whether or not he can find anything.
Yeah, the
money.
Maybe anything, cred stick.
Yeah, there's no cred stick in there. There's let me just check. Sorry. There's a little, seems to be some kind of a knife, almost like one of these butterfly knives. That's
a switchblade thing.
Yeah, in one, and there seems to be various miscellaneous items that somebody might be carrying in their pocket. It doesn't look like it's
but nothing that I could actually ascertain the person's identity from.
No, not at all. Of course, they would have a sin. It might have a sin. So if you could read that.
Right. But you would need some type of scanner for that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Billy Bob's going to pass the information. He's going to say, "There's another one over there."
As soon as Billy Bob does that, Hector's going to stand up slowly, and he's going to put his hand on each hand on one hand on his taser and one hand resting gently on one of his pistols, and he's going to start looking for what's done this, and then says, "Looks like we've got to go in anyway."
Are you heading down the passageway, Hector?
Hector says that, and he's going to wait and pause to see what the others say, before he actually starts moving. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, as soon as Hector says that, Studley's going to go, "Right out," and he's going to start heading down the.
But Hector's going to, although advancing carefully and being on guard, he's going to advance to the next body to see, and then if he gets there without being stopped by anything, he's going to he wants to do the same thing again. He wants to see if he can see the face, and then show Studley the face.
So is the plan to go to the next body?
Well, that's what Hector's doing. I don't know what the others are.
Yeah, Studley's heading down the alley. He's still got this remote control out, which he occasionally points at the wall. It's still on in the on position, so he is holding that in one hand.
So hang on, so let me get. So Hector's going over to the body.
Yep.
Studley, what are you doing? You're just proceeding down the alleyway.
Well, he'll get if people stop at the body, then he'll stop, but he will be in the front.
Okay then. And Billy Bob, what are you doing?
Billy Bob's going to be just off to the side of Studley, giving protection all round.
So Studley and Billy Bob, are you? Hector stopped at the body. I'm just using Athena as the second body.
Okay, so we will. Studley will stop just after the body, so that he's still looking down the alleyway.
Okay, but you're still going to be in front and taking the lead.
Yes.
Okay.
Billy Bob's just going to be off to his side, again, just giving cover, looking round, making sure nothing comes at us.
Okay then.
When Hector gets to the body, he's not going to. If the body's on its back and the face is being shown, then that's fine. If it's like the other one, and if the body's on its front and the face isn't clearly visible, he's just going to move the head slightly so he can see the face.
The head's clearly visible. Visible.
As Studley's slightly in front, he's just going to take a picture with his camera and his glasses, and then his contact lenses, and then send a picture to Studley. And then he's going to say over his book rights, goes, "Is this one of the guys or not?"
It's not. It's Studley. It's
Okay.
not.
Was this guy in gang colours as gang thing as well? Did I notice as I was walking past?
Make a perception roll. He's just a normal gang. He seems to be he's slightly more than gang, but not as good as runners.
Okay.
He's not like the gangs that you've met in Southside. You know,
Could it just be that they're a better funded gang?
Yes, yeah, that's a good expression. So they're not security guards, and they're not normal people, but they're not they obviously don't have the accolade of being a runner.
Okay. Hearing Studley's response, Hector's going to take up position behind the three, as like behind them, and say, "Shall we move further on?" But whilst they keep walking, he's going to be keeping a rough eye out on his back as well, behind them.
Okay, Studley's going to do.
Hang on a minute, guys, because I need to just need to rearrange your marching order, because the place that I've got, the map I've got, is I've just realised is going in the other direction.
Opposite direction.
So let me just I just need to copy this across. So the mage is in the lead, with Billy Bob over to one side and Hector behind them both. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Billy Bob's gonna message Fina and ask just put ETA.
But it was 35 minutes. We've been maybe 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, all we've done is come down, had a look at a body.
Right. I'm going to move you over to the next map, because you're coming to the end of the end of the corridor now. I just need you to tell me whether or not this is correct.
That's correct.
That's fine with me.
Unbelievable.
And then as Hector's
Mage tanking.
Unbelievable. I just do not believe it.
No.
Okay, right. Okay,
you've
then.
Got to, sometimes. I want to do two things with Studley. The first thing I want to do is I want to allocate my 7 dice that I have for my 6 dice that I have for counter spelling, and I want to put it on spell defense.
That's an interrupt action.
Or free action.
It's actually an interrupt. So what you would do? Hang on, I'm just trying to find it on my thing. So, for example, if I cast a spell, you can actually interrupt it and say, I'll counterspell it. You see, it's not actually. I'm just trying to find it on my thing. It's not. You don't need to. It's automatically on counterspell to start off with, so it's always there. But say, for example, I all of a sudden cast a spell at you all. You can automatically say, "I'll allocate this here, this there, this there."
Right. That's fine. Then because I thought I had to use a free action to actually do it, or an interrupt action, which would put me at -10 on the initiative.
I'm just looking at it now, but I can't see it on my list. But sometimes it's not there. But I'll check it in a second. I will check it in a second. Okay.
And the other thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to cast a spell to be sustained.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
Okay, and I want to cast increased reflexes at force 3, but I'm using a point of edge to pre-edge it.
Okay, go for it.
And this is on myself.
Billy Bob, just to let you know, are you adding on +1 to your situation modifiers? Because I think you still got a wound penalty. It's coming up on all the rolls, but I think you've got ignore pain. Yeah, so
I haven't been. No, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so that's your drain's fine. So you got four successes. So that's going to be
+4 initiative
and
+2 dice.
Dice, yeah, cool. Okay, it's where you get you. Hang on, sorry. I just need to move you a bit because you're not actually there at the moment. I just want to show you where you are. So I'm just linking you all together. So as you come down this corridor, this passageway, you suddenly get to where you are now. You can see the end of the corridor now. Your low light eyes is just sort of like picking everything up. You can see you can see about 12 meters away off to your. It's on the right of the map, on the east of the map, but it's to your left as you're coming down the corridor. Can you see it?
Yeah.
There seems to be almost like a security door. It doesn't look like the unit doors that were up above on the things. It seems to be a quite substantial door. And you can also see that in between you and that door, it just seems to be littered with, say, 4, maybe 5. It's hard to tell because there's several broken bits of body left, right, and center. So there's sort of like a corpse. There's a bit of a torso over here. There's a bit of a torso over here. There's sort of like a head rolling up here. There's a pair of legs here. It looks.
Are you clicking on things then? Because.
Oh, sorry, my fault. So there's sort of like a torso over here. There's just a head over here. There's a couple of legs here. And so there's sort of like. Is that me clicking?
Sorry, it's me.
No. How hang
on, sorry.
These things?
Which things?
Well, we're obviously going down the side of 2 buildings.
Really 2-story high, and they have no sort of like escapes or anything like that. You're well and truly sort of like in it. And
we probably wouldn't see the top of them.
No, not at all. And you can see all these dead bodies, and sort of like just just in front of the security door is a huge. You have seen this before.
Sorry, guys, I'm gonna have to leave a minute. 2 seconds.
Okay. So you guys have seen this before. Studley, you haven't. It seems to be a huge dog-like creature, and you can see it's sort of like heaving and panting somewhat, and you can see that round its neck it has a collar. And it's quite a substantial collar round it, and you can see that it has like a series of lights on that are all off at the moment, and you also notice that from the collar there's a series of, every now and again there's a couple of sparks, and it's all like goes like this as you sit there. And I would like you, please.
Hector just goes out loud, oh no, not one of these again.
And I would like you, please, to roll. I'll do big beasties.
I'll take 16. 2 dice, that's not great.
Right, hang on. I'm just rolling that again because I can't seem to take off. Oh, I just add 1. I can just add 1 to 18. That's fine. Because his first one's 17, but he's still doing his wound penalty. But that won't take it off. Yeah. Let's take...
I think the easiest thing to do with his wound penalty is to take it off, but we keep a track of it.
Yeah.
The easiest way to do it is just to add 1 on the situation modifier, because sometimes.
Well, but only if people remember to do it.
Yeah, because sometimes it's actually on and sometimes it's not. So this is our initiative order for the next battle. And what I think we'll do is take our break there, and then we will see what happens when we come back. So so if you're watching the stream, thank you very much for coming along. And all we need you to do now is just head off and get something to drink. Have a quick break, have a bio break, have something to eat and drink quickly, and then hopefully when you come back, you can see what the party manages to do with this huge monster of a beast and what is behind the security door. So we will be back in 10 minutes. So please don't go away. See you soon.